Hey you, before the video starts, consider dropping a like, a comment, and maybe consider subscribing. This really does help the channel grow. On to the video. Hey guys, it's Main here, backing up with another account review. Today we're looking at Braveheart's account. Braveheart, I think we've done an account review for this man before. Last upload is 6:26, today is 7:05, so a little bit behind in the upload, but I think that's fine. I think it captures arcane cultist, so I guess we can look at that, offer some advice, and just generally see what we recommend to do. I guess, progress your account from here. So first thing, Ando already mentioned the bubble levels. Let's take a look at the bubbles and see what we'd recommend doing. So immediately I see you have the, I guess, important ones. I don't know, Prism Bubble and Cropius Mapper is a very interesting choice. The percentage that you actually get from Cropius Mapper is decent early game, but as you get later and later, it is a very terrible amount of crop evolution chance. So this is definitely not one I would recommend doubling. That being said, I mean, you have Larry, you have Warrior's Rule, you have Hardy Diggy, you have Strong Tools, you have Molt Orange, you have Dream of Ironfish, you have Mage's Best, Severe Purple, Archer of Bust, Prema Green. You have a lot of good bubbles. If anything, I would definitely have done Starchu EXP as one of your Prismas. I would have also done Diamond Chef, even though you may be done with meals. World 7 is going to introduce new meals. It's almost a guarantee that it will. Whether or not it introduces new meal levels is uncertain at this time, but it's probably going to, considering how World 6 with the master classes introduced. Well, the master class itself gave 20 with Deathbringer, and I think the Jade Emporium gave another 10 or 20, maybe? I don't remember. But yeah, Diamond Chef is definitely a value bubble as World 7 gets closer and closer. If you want to save your Prisma Fragments as well for the World 7 bubbles, that's also completely valid and accurate. I would recommend doing that, although Starchu EXP I think is just non-negotiable. I think I've seen a few comments of people saying Starchu EXP is not good because statues have diminishing deposit values over time. It's not necessarily true. In fact, it makes depositing statues much easier and reduces the amount you need to upgrade by 25% or something. So it is extremely worth putting a bubble doubler on Starchu EXP, especially with the bonuses to Prisma statues. This has an even higher cap, so you are able to upgrade your statues even more. Also, with the direction the game is going, with how much drop rate we're getting, we're going to be able to drop even more statues. More so specifically because of Arcane Cultist providing a drop rate multiplier with a crystal. We can giga farm statues now. Getting to 400 statues, I genuinely believe that endgamers are going to be pushing that very soon, just strictly based off of how much mining power and chopping power these statues provide. It's going to be extremely worth it for endgamers to stack up drop rate on the Board Beans map, to go do crystal farming, and just take the DK orb to the moon and get. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere in the near future, in like a year from now, we're going to be able to green stack statues in a matter of minutes, just based off of how much drop rate we've gotten in the past few months. I don't know if this trend is to continue, but with the 3 recent drop rate multipliers we've gotten, with the whole providing more drop rate from the measure bonus from the golems, Sanctum clears, from the gloomy Sanctum clears, all that stuff coming together, drop rate hitting up to 300x, 350x, what I've seen recently. Statue farming is going to be an absolute joke, and it's going to dwarf our current statue levels. So Starchu EXP is going to be, in the near future, hell, even now, extremely value. Even if you are the top 1 player of Idleon, doubling Starchu EXP is a must if you want to progress statues. Okay, Exalted Stamps, kind of along the same vein. You have Multi-Tool, you have Summoner Stone, you have Drippy Drop, you have Maddybags, yep. Mason Jar, Crystalline, Gold Food, Boost Food, all of those I agree with. Not a single one I would disagree with at all. The Boost Food effect, it's kind of diminished by the Feasty statue, but I've seen arguments for it. And also Boost Food effect, you kind of need more of it for catching prints and fishing prints, because they don't have a cap for those speeds respectively. So it's pretty good. Yeah, so not a single one I would disagree with. If anything, I think your next one you should probably do on Divinity Stamp, just because Divinity EXP is always needed. Pushing God ranks helps with blessing bonuses if you have the Jade Emporium upgrade. It also helps with pushing not God ranks, but the big P bubble and divinity levels. I think, man, I can't remember who did the calculations, but I think 23 minimum talent levels from Arctis is the actual like hard cap, and that's going to take, I think, into the thousands of levels for divinity. So, there's a use and value to pushing divinity, and divinity EXP is just a complete pain in the ass, and there's not a lot of sources of it, of which statues are one. So divinity stamp is pretty good. Owl at 15. This is decent. I think I'd rather see a 16 or 17, considering you are at Gambit Cavern, obviously. I think 16 is not that hard. Speaking of which, I have to do my Gambit Cavern. Or not Gambit Cavern, my Owl. I have to go check if my reset's available. Mega Fish at 8. I think you can push 9 or 10 maybe. Printer. Always look to reprint if you can. How long has it been? How's your gold relic doing? 4.15. I would honestly wait for the next ballot bonus, probably. I mean, yeah, you're like 400 billion copper ore. That's not terrible. It's good. I mean, for where you are in the game, this is not that surprising. With statue farming, you can get more mining power from here. With pushing hours on the Bravery monument for Bravery multi is probably what you want to do at this stage of the game. Yeah, I think probably monument hours is something you may want to consider doing. And yeah, what are you guys doing? So Deathbringer is currently on Ancient Golems. Your Hunter, I don't know if you're active on rice cakes, but doing rice cakes. You have almost everyone in cooking. Why cooking? Are you trying to finish meals or what's going on? I mean, Diamond Chef would have helped you finish all these meals. Just saying. Otherwise, you're going to have to rely on no meal left behind for a lot of these. I guess the realistic question is, without food lust bonuses, can you get a bunch of meals to 110 easily? I think of the meals you can do, I think probably up to Fortune Cookie. Hold on. I want to issue... I was going to advise something that's completely insane. I want to fact check myself before I do that. Okay. But if this is also, I mean, you're in like a cooking setup, right? So you have, never mind. What cards do you have that you're missing? Okay. Oh, okay. I think you got to do some boss card farming, my man. So yeah, doing some card farming on Radiant Amrock, on Dr. Defecus, Baba Yaga, you can do like World 1 Coliseum specifically to get a bunch of cards for. You're actually almost there at Ruby. Boops, you just need to do every day. Actually, you can probably get this at 5-star because this might push you into a higher tier for the card set bonus to get a little bit more drop rate, which is going to help you, like statue farming, for example. Also, what equipment do you have on this character in particular? Did you get the name tag? Were you lucky enough to get the name tag? I guess is the question. I mean, if anyone has it, it's probably your Windwalker. Oh, you actually have the name tag. So your drop rate is much, much higher than what one would expect. So instead of the 70x drop rate, you could actually have times that by 1.25. So 78.33 times 1.25. That's by 1.01. Or does that add up? So you could be nearing, you're nearing like 100x drop rate right now, right? So to let you in on where my brain was going, instead of sticking all of your characters in cooking, because I suspect you're farming ladles, what I would instead recommend, I need to get one more piece of information before I advise this. Oh, wait, it's one. Oh, interesting, interesting. Okay, yeah. My first piece of advice I would not recommend, but this piece of advice I would maybe consider. So I would probably, on your arcane cultist, go farm Spaceway Raceway with the DR crystal. The reason I'm recommending this for ladle farming, which is very unintuitive, is that it will affect mutated mush. The drop rate multiplier you get is based off the map you're in, so it applies to your character no matter what activity you're doing. So this would mean you could actually statue farm like skilling nodes, for example, but here in particular on the purple mushroom you would be able to actually get the drop rate multiplier that affects mutated mush. And what that means for your DK in particular is you could get your orb to a relatively high number, whatever you can get it up to, spawn mutated mush, and actually multiply the amount of ladles that drop based off your drop rate. So by going in arcane cultist forms, farming on purple mushrooms, you could actually get a lot of ladles doing that, or you could alternatively just run the World 4 Coliseum under DK and, you know, get whatever you get from that, because I honestly get a ton of ladles myself doing that. In fact, why not go test it? Right? Let's go take a look and see what I get. I think I'll claim the hours here. Why not? 13 minutes inefficient. And I think the wings are somewhere. This guy doesn't have the wings, does he? Nah. I don't know who has the wings. Somewhere in my storage, I believe. By the way, Philip Pollo, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Appreciate it. There are the wings. So if I go over to TVs, I don't know how feasible it is for me to replicate your drop rate, to be completely honest. I take out gold cakes, maybe? And I swap my Opals. I'm really trying to replicate your drop rate, but it's so hard. All right, 117. I think it's probably as close as I'm going to get here. So with 113x drop rate, sorry. How many ladles do I get? 1,400. So with your drop rate, you might get close to like 900 maybe. So with one Coliseum, with one purple mush at a 200 orb, I'm able to get almost 1,400 ladles with a similar amount of drop rate I suspect you're able to get on your character. So instead of having your other characters do cooking, you could generate ladles this way instead. It does take colo tickets instead. You could rely on your purple mushroom kills instead. But I think your characters are better off doing other things than cooking, and this is why I bring it up in particular. Gotta remember to equip my tools before I leave this guy. But a quick demonstration. This is just generally how juiced Coliseum is nowadays. Yeah. So I think you can do better things with your characters. Yeah, I would stick these characters probably on the Bravery Monument, for example, because it would help you with mining efficiency to help you get higher prints, with Bravery multi to get you more gaming bit gain, more higher prints, a little bit more cooking speed. It's not like Bravery's not really that good for cooking speed, to be completely honest with you. But instead of sticking all of your characters doing cooking, because I suspect you're trying to get ladles, you could just use your Coliseum tickets, of which you have 878, and get more than enough ladles to get up to, I guess, the fortune cookie at 110. You could also upgrade those meals, get more meal cooking speed, and try to upgrade the further meals, because remember, Blood Marrow exists. It'll multiply your cooking speed every single meal level that you get. So it is extremely powerful. So as you get Fortune Cookie up to 110, that might give you more than enough cooking speed to get the next meal to 110, or maybe the next meal after that to 110. But realistically, without Diamond Chef Prism Bubble, you're going to rely on No Meal Left Behind to get those meals to 110 naturally over time. And you're not going to be able to ladle them because those later meals from World 6 are going to take billions of ladles. And this is just going from 107 to 108. Going from... going from 107 to 110 is 80 trillion. So unless you have Diamond Chef doubled, you're not going to be able to get these meals naturally to 110. But the good news is these are at like a multiple of 3, except Burn Marshmallow and Billjack Pepper. So you are going to hit these meals eventually and get them up to 110 just naturally over time. But I think the dream of you getting these without No Meal Left Behind is unrealistic, and there's no reason all of your characters should be stuck on cooking right now. And instead, I think they should be stuck on bravery in the whole. That being said, I mean, your hours absolutely doing monuments. 8K. Why you have more hours on wisdom than you do bravery? No, this is terrible. Stick all of your characters on justice right now. Getting this to 24K is your number 1 goal, because this will make your justice runs more consistent. And I would highly recommend trying to use the user tips and tricks section. There is an app that people created a website to specifically talk about the justice runs, or how to optimize it. I think this is more approachable. It is better. I'm making note of it to put this in the description of the video. This is I used this during my justice run just recently on this stream. And basically you put your case number here, and you can actually search by, like, if I type in daddy, for example, little Timmy has this right here. It'll tell you at case 120, if you approve it, it's going to give you minus 24 pop. If you reject it, it's going to cost you minus 24 pop. So it's lose-lose, but you should approve this because it gives you this little bit of information. There's an interaction between the Harbinger and Timmy, where if you reject it, it'll add +1 to the counter, which means your cost for that Deathbringer or Great Harbinger is going to be much greater than if you just approved him. So in this case, you should approve it, or, you know, or for the ghost, for example, click on the ghost here. It'll filter by the ghosts. It'll say, can you make illegal scare people? Only approve this after case 70. It's generally good advice. So it'll tell you what to do. It'll tell you the outcome of that. Well, it'll give you pop, it'll give you money, or what's going to happen. It's here you go. This is insanely good, and you should use this. Yeah. Made a note to put this in the description of the channel. Okay. So other thing I want to advise is when it comes to splitting opals, I wouldn't do like an equal split. I would actually just do a 25 split across everyone and dump the rest of your opals on one person. Since you've essentially finished caverns, you have one of 2 things to do. Number 1, you could put all the remainder of your opals onto Cosmo to get higher bonuses here, to get more, to max out these pips right here. So you can max out the ballast bonus multiplier, the weapon power damage, the all stat from Pocket Divinity, and then eventually when you get, I think, to 53 or so. When you get to 53 or so, I think that's when it caps out, 53 to 55, somewhere around there. You get everything maxed out, capped out, whatever. And then you can stick that same opal distribution instead on Belaya, because Studier is like the end game for whole of what you want to focus heavily into. Sovereign. Astute. Gaming, still 24, unlucky. Slab. Okay, Slab is probably a big one for you right now. So I see a few things that you can get naturally through quests, that you can craft, that you could drop, that you need to equip a star sign for, you need to do party dungeon for, you need to do a little bit of alchemy shop grinding. Yeah, there's a lot of things I see here. You can probably boost your slab numbers by a higher number. The more slab you get, just the better overall account bonus you have. So make sure to do a little bit of slab grinding. You have a bunch of opals to do specifically. Party dungeon is going to be a big chunk of it, so go on these specific characters classes and do party dungeons. So on your V-man, on your warrior, on your archer, on your mage, those ones to complete party dungeon slab. It's actually pretty good day market. I like this. Okay, you've pumped a lot into speed GMO. I think instead of pumping into speed GMO at this point, I would put all of your bean resets into evolution GMO, because speed is nice and hitting that sub 1 second breakpoint for glassy to grow faster is nice. However, with more evolution GMO, you'll hit higher crops, which means you'll get more magic beans to trade in. So instead of focusing so heavily on speed GMO, focus all of your attention now into evolution GMO. Ideally, eventually, getting speed GMO to like 40% is nice. It'll help you hit that sub 1 second growth speed for glassy much faster. However, evolution GMO is definitely what you should be doing, because in the long run, this will help you get more magic beans so that you can trade in to get even higher crops, to get more evolution GMO, to eventually get this to 40% so you get more growth speed. But I don't necessarily disagree with your strat, but I think the evolution GMO is definitely what you should do now more. Sneaking, you're on mastery 4. So okay. My biggest piece of advice for sneaking right now is go back down to mastery 3 and try to farm a higher level of your gold charms, specifically the action speed, the question mark one, more nunchuck damage, more stealth here, and obviously the star itself to get you higher charm level. Probably this one first, so you get higher gold charms for the rest of the gold charms, and the scroll specifically to help you get higher bonuses for your other gold charms. All this is going to help you push to mastery 5. However, I do want to warn you, there is a giant brick wall when it comes to floor 11, I think it is. Because the jump from stealth required goes from, I think, E30 for 0% detection to E33, which means trying to hit 99% detection is infinitely harder. So you aren't realistically going to be able to push Mastery 5 until you have like the 40k hours from the Fractal Island, when you have like 100k gemstones, when you have like 2k of all these charms, all that coming, and like 2k of these, like the Veil and Rosary. And you're also going to need like I can't remember the exact number, but a high level nunchuck, like bamboo nunchuck specifically. Also, yeah, level 630 for sneaking feels relatively low at this stage. I think 700 is what you should aim for. So in order to XP farm, what you should do is you should get black belts and yellow belts for your characters, go back down to the ghost floor for mastery 4 and just sit there for a little bit. Ideally, you also have, I mean, at this point you want to have 100k gemstones, because you'll get this giant multiplier for sneaking exp from the topaz here and moissanite. It will, and you want to have your talent preset on your windwalker set to gemstone multiplier if it's not capped out already. It's going to your talents here. This talent right here to get you more gemstone bonus for that sneaking EXP, but also this one right here for sneaky skilling to get you a multiplier, but also a huge percentage increase to sneaking EXP. Aiming for like 700 sneaking level or so is going to give you a huge percent increase to your sneaking. 1300 nunchucks? Okay, Mastery 4, Floor 6, 1300 nunchucks, which you should aim for if you want to try to break down M4, F11. Floor 11 to try to get to Mastery 5. But yeah, make sure your talent preset is on Sneaky Skilling and on Generational Gemstones. When you're AFK on your Windwalker, if you're active on it, obviously do your active preset, but change your second preset back and try to max this out specifically. Honestly, I would drop points from the Agility one right here and put it back into Sneaky Skilling, because the EXP is insanely powerful and it gives you more stealth, it gives you more Jade Coin, it gives you more Nunchuck damage, so you're able to knock down the doors faster. It's just really, really, really important. Also, it's free gems if you have leveled up Gift Bubble, level up. Adam Collider, 37. Remember, you can upgrade this, so upgrade it. We already talked about stamps. I'm having like a blank on what we've already covered. Okay, all this is not bad. You're into the very grindy vials of this stage, so name of the game is just maxing out red malt vials, so it's upgrading Refinery consistently. You know, getting into the thousands of levels for redox. Yeah, I mean, you can upgrade those. What did I say? Yeah. I personally don't like to see 10% auto refine until you're into the thousands of red salt levels, to be completely honest with you. Yeah, I would, yeah. I wouldn't set this to auto refine. I would keep it at 0%, and I would upgrade it as much as you can. I would only recommend auto refining once you're into the thousands of levels, to be completely honest. Yeah. Islands, Shimmer. Just do skill efficiency. That's all you need. Fractal Island, getting to 40k for this 2% stealth per sneaking level is ideally what you want to push Mastery 5. I still think this is required for Mastery 5. It's what my headcanon is telling me. So if you want to push Mastery 5, you're going to need this. So it's going to come with you absolutely destroying your candy stash. Just the one thing I want to check on is your boss spawns, if you have any. Yeah. I mean, you have a bunch of biggie hours, so you could replenish some of your stockpile of candy here. But you're definitely going to need to obliterate your stash of candy for Fractal Island. I think that's probably your next big goal. Now, unfortunately, we didn't have the Shrine EXP ballot come through this week, and this would be the optimal time to do it, because people voted Class EXP instead. Moment of silence for those people who did that. Yeah. Yep. But other than that, getting Dragon Warrior statue to 200 is probably a good endgame goal. Okay. Hey, Commander D, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Kilroy, how are your upgrades in Kilroy? Okay, pretty low. So Kilroy is definitely something you want to start focusing on. If you want free-to-play gems, Kilroy is the best way to get free-to-play gems. It just requires upfront investment. So getting your timer up to 180 seconds is what you should do first, and then getting bonus skulls up to 120. And then when you're at that point, it's up to you what you want to push from there. Whether you want more timer, it's just going to make Kilroy go longer, and some people don't like when their Kilroy's too long. So capping it at 180 is completely fine, and then just spending the rest of your points into bonus goals is absolutely something, you know, that's what I'm doing. You could also, once you're at the 180, 120 breakpoint, you can try to get faster respawn to level 100. That's what I did. Essentially, it just makes some of the mobs spawn more. You get more mobs from Kilroy. I'm unclear exactly how this works, but I've heard there's soft caps at 40. I've heard there's not soft caps, and it keeps going infinitely. So I don't know what to believe. I got it to 100, and I said good enough. And now I'm just putting all my points into skulls. I got my timer, I think, to 200 seconds. I'm infinitely pushing skulls now, and I got my faster respawn to 100. But if you ever watch my streams, I always spend my Kilroy skulls in arcade balls, and there is not a single time where I think I've lost 400 gems from arcade, which is the cost of the horn to reset Kilroy. So I would highly recommend doing Kilroy. It is a fantastic source of free-to-play gems and helps you in arcade to unlock stamps or Balja Pickle or Red Bodhi Hat if you care about that. Or Bill Jack, whatever the BJP, whatever the pepper is, whatever the pickle is, whatever the guy's called. Okay, Mr. Jackpot, shut up. Equinox, Laboratory Fuse Enjoyer, love that. Equinox Symbols, upgrade that. In order of importance, honestly, where I see it, Equinox Symbols number 1, Faux Jewels number 2. Obviously, discounting Liquid Investment because it is increased by endless summoning at this point. But Equinox Symbols, Faux Jewels, Matching Skims, Metal Detector, Slow Roast Whiz, probably. And then voter rights. I mean, this also heavily depends if you want to do tower defense. This also heavily depends if you care about gaming. If you don't, then voter rights is higher up on the list. But food lust at level 1 is fine. It'll help you with cooking, actually, since you're obviously on that grind. I've unlocked all the sets. That's good, including gold food effect. That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, we're just kind of flip-flopping back and forth between things. So, I mean, I'm not sure what else really to advise you. I think it all comes down to whole and prioritizing where your characters are AFK. So my best piece of advice is probably Fractal Island is in your near future. It's up to you whether you want to wait for the Shrine ballot, but it's also not a guarantee it will happen, as we just saw. So I think it's fine just using your candies now and trying to replenish it with the Biggie Hours Orb kill tech that I've shown before on stream. If you don't know what I'm talking about, essentially just go to the Mimics map, drop your DK orb on one of the platforms and throw your banana ring all the time and stack up the orb ideally to like 600, 700, 800, depending how high your uptime is on the orb, and kill Biggie Hours, and he'll almost guaranteed drop 12 and 24-hour time candies every single time, which means you can get hundreds of hours of time candy in a single sitting every single day, just from the 4 bags you can get from the shop. So you can get a reliable, replenishable stack of candy every single day from killing Biggie Hours. And if you have the vendor stamp upgraded, you can get 4 bags per day, which is 4 Biggie Hour kills. So for me, I can guarantee a 24. So at 24 plus 12 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1 times 4. So every single day I can guarantee 172 hours of time candy just from Biggie Hours alone. Let that sink in. Also, not to mention Coliseum, so I can kill Biggie Hours, another 3 times. So 300 hours of time candy if I really optimized it. Yeah, so it's pretty good. Yeah, so Fractal Island, blasting your candies, getting higher bubble levels just generally in like Warrior's Rule, Archer Bust, Mage's Best, and it's Gold Stopwatch Week. That is absolutely correct, which reminds me, I got to do my weekly boss battle. So I'm going to do that off stream, and Braveheart, and it's just very, optimizing your character AFK time. Instead of doing cooking, going on the monuments, doing justice to 24k, bravery to 100k is eventually what you want to do. Doing some Fractal Island candy spamming and stuff is probably going to help you a ton. So I wish you the best of luck, and you've entered the very grindy stage of Idleon, so I wish you the best of luck, and I hope to see you around. Have a great day. Bye. Hey guys, I just want to say as a last thing, thank you to all of my Twitch subscribers and YouTube channel members. You guys really help the channel grow and really motivate me to continue making videos. If you guys do also want to support me on YouTube, it's just $1 a month for a channel subscription at the lowest tier. You can choose to give more if you want. Just want to say that. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate your support. Have a great day. Bye.